What's going on? We back with the Boxing Clinic and more. Y'all know what it is. Your boy CJ Goodfella. And Eddie Hearn did an interview with IFL TV today, and it kicks off about what you want to hear in the subject we talking about at the 30-minute mark. It's a 45-minute interview. He's talked about beating Povetkin's team and what we talked about earlier, and went too far to say that they may take Povetkin, get the mandatory out the way in August, and come back in November, December, and face Deontay Wilder. Now, the reason he says November, December for Deontay Wilder is Eddie Hearn says that's when November, December is when Al Heyman, Deontay Wilder, Shelly Finkel, Team Wilder, you dig, want to take the fight. And I think that has something to do with marketing and promoting the Anthony Joshua fight. You know, what's so funny is Eddie Hearn is such a habitual liar, bro. He says, oh, we only want to fight 2 times a year. Now you trying to squeeze 3 fights in there? I mean, what's the aim of putting Povetkin in there? Maybe because they have to pay Povetkin step-aside money. That may be what it is. But they trying to squeeze Povetkin in there and have him fight 3 times a year. I ain't complaining. I like it. But I don't want no built-in excuses. Oh, you know, we fought Povetkin. They got cut. Now we can't do the Wilder fight. Oh, we fought Povetkin. We was too tired, or we was too beat up for the Povetkin fight. That's why Wilder beat us up, you know. So that's what he's saying about meeting with Team Povetkin. That could be some type of leverage to hang over Team Wilder head, saying we meet with Povetkin. If you want to go fight Povetkin, you know, tip my hat off to him, man. You know, because I know if he fights Povetkin in August, he's not going to be fighting Wilder at the end of the year. I know he's not, you know. So it is what it is. The reason I believe Wilder, before I get into the thick of things, I think the reason Wilder and his team wants to wait till November, December is to build the fight up. It's going to be pay-per-view to build the fight up. And you know, remember Floyd said you need 6 months to build a pay-per-view. They must have a marketing scheme and a promotional plan to promote this fight the right way. And, you know, and hopefully it works out for him. But, you know, Eddie Hearn said they still going back and forth. He says Anthony Joshua has not decided on if he wants to come to America yet. There's so much contradiction here, man. The other day he said when he announced the DAZN deal that, you know, Joshua 100% wanted to fight in the UK. Oh, he got to be in the UK. So now it's, you know, it's just a daily contradiction, man. A daily lying, exaggeration, whatever you want to call it. And I continue to cover it just to bookmark each lie that he says. So I can take you back to each article I put in here, each video I put in here, and I covered it step by step. So any of you, you know, trolls out there, any of you UK butt-licking, Eddie Hearn boot-licking motherfuckers out there, you can't say this a lie. This is all factual, sourced, straight from the horse's mouth, okay? But, you know, he said he ain't decided yet, man. You know, last Tuesday he's supposed to decide. Now he said the end of next week we'll know. I mean, golly, man. He said Al Heyman's answered all the questions they had about the fight. He said his job is to make sure everything is good across the board as far as media obligations, the copyrights to the fight over in the UK and worldwide. He said he don't want Anthony Joshua to worry about nothing. He said he want everything to be perfect where he could just train and fight for the Wilder fight. You know, he said he don't want any extra baggage on Joshua in this fight. He said Joshua's a competitor. He wants to fight. He says Deontay Wilder doesn't have nothing to lose. I mean, he does have a belt to lose, you know. And also, if it's in the United States, he has popularity to use. Most people are already questioning, you know, is he the real deal or not? In this fight, you know, he can lose the popularity that he's built up because numbers says he's the biggest, you know, draw in boxing as far as the Premier Boxing Champion side. You know, other than Canelo Alvarez, I mean, he's the biggest draw in boxing. He's doing numbers on Showtime that hasn't been done in a long time, you know. So he has a lot to lose. Anthony Joshua, he got a lot to lose too. He got 3 belts to lose. He got his country to lose, save and face. But at the end of the day, Deontay Wilder's country will turn on him, you know, before the UK turns on Anthony Joshua. We all know that UK love their fighters to the death. One loss in America, they act like you 6 feet deep. So, you know, Eddie Hearn could sell that bullshit to the birds, but he can't fool me. You know, he can't. You know, I know for a fact that they not fighting Povetkin in August and come back fighting Deontay Wilder in November, December. That's 2 months, you know, and at the most 3 months is some change to prepare. And guess what? Povetkin's no walkover, especially if you're not doing, you know, random drug testing. He's no walkover. You figure deal me? He's no walkover. They're not doing those 2 tough fights that close together, man. So, like, at the end of the day, they can fool me. They can't fool me. Or they probably can fool y'all. But I think he's losing Povetkin as leverage. Or he don't want to pay Povetkin step-aside money, you know, to sit down and wait. Because obviously, if Wilder wins, Wilder can play the card well. I don't want to fight him. He pissed hot. He got to take a random drug test right now. I don't want to fight him. He failed the drug test. He bullshit. Because the WBC wants Povetkin to fight Wilder still, and he's the mandatory to WBA, WBO. So, Povetkin will actually be the mandatory win or lose for Joshua, win for Joshua, win for Wilder. So that's a tough situation. Povetkin's in the best spot in boxing. The WBC want to see you fight they champion. The WBO and WBA, you about they mandatory, both of them. You in the perfect position, man. And also you can be featured on this card. But the only thing that's not in his favor is he's 36 years old. So basically this is down to Anthony Joshua's decision. And I think if he's still thinking about it, he's probably close to pulling the trigger on coming to America and taking that offer. That's why the extension was signed. I said it yesterday. If that extension is signed, they got security that he won't run off and work with Al Heyman, without them being a part of the deal. That was the final key. I think this fight is going to happen in the U.S. But to go back a little bit, Povetkin might get offered, a spot on the card or something like that. That'd be smart for him. It really would be. Make some money, get a nice little opponent there, get a Joseph Parker in there to kind of feature on the card. But Eddie also said that they still, exploring an offer for the UK. And the interviewer asked him, and IFL TV, which I linked in the description. Most people don't know that I link all my sources to the description, unless it's a rumor. And most of the time, rumors have links in the description too. But he said, what about, the UK? Do you still offer Wilder that flat fee in the UK? He said, I'm just going to be quiet on that. He didn't want to talk about that offer to Wilder. And Barry Hearn said the other day, all they can really offer him is the 12.5. They can't offer him the $25 million that Wilder wants to come over to the UK. So it makes sense. You're stretching your dollar in the UK, okay? When you trying to act like you got the money, but we all know you ain't got the money. And Joshua know y'all ain't got the money. And then again, you looking at the simple fact of Al Heyman, who got the money. I mean, he gonna give you a $50 million offer. That's in stone. They gotta give you $50 million as long as you walk in that ring, and if you get hit with one punch, you can fall out. He owes you the $50 million. So, you want to try to break the bank and really, stretch that $100 million deal out with Joshua. Because if the fight happens, I think, and another reason they want to put that Povetkin fight maybe in there, because Joshua has one more fight on his contract. So after that, the extension kicks in, 3-fight extension, $100 million. He make $50 million, possibly $75 million with upside money in the back end with Al Heyman. Half that contract is paid right there. So that's something to kind of look at while they're trying to squeeze Povetkin in there. We gone.